Hello everybody, it's Crafty Book Nerd here today, and we're continuing our series on creating our reading junk journal. Today's quote is, "A house without books is like a room without windows." So what we're going to do today is, in the last video we covered our cereal box with our craft paper, and today we're going to actually put a cover and cover this and also cover the inside of the book. And if we have time, we're going to do a little decorating inside as well. So what I've done is I've actually already done a few measurements and a few cutting of things to save some time. The first is I got a piece of scrap. That's some of the craft scrap that I had left over, and that's going to be the piece that's going to go right over your spine here, so you don't see that cereal box, and it makes it look nice and neat. And so what I did for that piece is I cut it to 8 15/16 by about 5 1/4, and that's going to go right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use some tape, score tape, and some glue, because we need that to really stay down. So I hope everyone is having a great Saturday. The weather here in Louisiana is gorgeous today. It's in the 70s, the sun is shining, the birds are singing. I think they think it's spring, but it's still January. So it's crazy weather. We run the air condition, then we run the heat. That's why everybody seems to probably be sick all the time. So I'm gonna give that a good burnish. And then I'm gonna put a few pieces of score tape in the middle, because that's the part that's going to be right on that spine piece, and I want to make sure that gets a nice good stick. So do that, give that a good burnish. All right, let's peel up the tape. This, for those of you that are book readers, in addition to being scrapbookers, don't forget that I have added a new video of what I plan to read in January. So check that out. And if you've read any of those books, love to hear comments from you on your thoughts. So today we're combining my love of reading with my love of crafting and making our reading junk journal. Okay, now let's get a little bit of glue if it will come out. Some wants to be stubborn, so we'll just see if we can poke a little bit. Get some glue out of there. Come on, glue. There we go. That's the way to do it. Okay. Especially on these edges. Just a little bit of glue like that. I'm going to I'm kind of looking there and just kind of eyeball it. And stick her down. And then I like to take my ruler and kind of where that bend is, just push that side, and then we're going to do this side. You see how it wants to pop up? It's going to do that, and it's frustrating, but eventually, if you work with it, it will lay down. Should have brought some binder clips. A lot of times I'll put binder clips on this and let it sit for a little bit, but we'll just kind of give it a few minutes here while we talk about getting our covers ready. The ruler works really good for this. And if you see some little places that need some more glue, you just squirt some glue up in there and you'll be in good shape. Okay. Now, all right, so the cereal box that I'm using and the way we measured it, it measures almost 9 by 6. And what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to do a double mat. That means I'm going to do a solid and then I'm going to do a print on top. It just makes it look better. And plus, when you're using digital papers, sometimes when you go to cut your digital to put on your cover, this area may not be big enough. So putting the piece behind it helps with that. And so I decided that they would be 8 3/4 by 5 3/4, which is great because you can get all of that out of one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So I took my 12 by 12 and I cut it to 8 3/4, saved the scrap, and then I cut 5 3/4 and 5 3/4, and that gave me my 2 pieces for the back, like so, and the front and the back. And then that scrap you had left, I was able to get the spine piece, and you're going to cut that one to 2.5 by 8 3/4, and that's going to be your spine. So you're going to put these down first, and then we're going to come back and put some pretty paper on top of that. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do some score tape on these and some glue. And don't forget to look underneath the description if you want to find links to the products I'm using, especially to the digital files I'm using. And most of the other things I'm using are just some basic, your basic supplies that most of you probably have in your scrapping stash somewhere. If not, I usually get my score tape from Amazon. They have good prices. And if you're on Amazon Prime, you get that free shipping, which is always a nice deal. I wish I would have bought stock in score tape. It is something I really go through a lot. A lot of score tape going on here. All right. That. And then we'll go ahead and do the spine piece. I think I have my front and back and my spine covers picked out, but I might change my mind. We're gonna look and see. And I'm gonna put one piece down the center here, and I'm also gonna put a piece down the center on these, and then I'm gonna add some glue to make sure that they get nice and stuck to our covers. Okay, let's just give some burnishing going on here on all the score tape. Get everything nice and burnished. That. Okay. Yeah, our inside is doing. You see what it's doing? It wants to peel away from that. It aggravates me so bad, and I've not found a solution. If you know of one, let me know. So usually I just have to kind of just keep working with it. And eventually it will do what it's supposed to do. All right, so don't worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and do these. Score tape off. And you'll see why I picked this pink in a minute, because the page I'm going to put on top of this has got a little bit of this pink in it. And I really liked it. Not that pink's my favorite color. Actually, purple's my favorite color. But this digital kit with the pinks and the tealy colors, it's just so pretty. So this solid that I found in my stash was a good match with it. So get those edges really good. Here. Come on top here. My front. Oh, you know what I forgot? Whew, I'm so glad I just thought about that and looked at my notes. We got to do our ribbon first. We want our ribbon under our paper. I chose a piece of brown ribbon that I had in my stash. Get out of the glue ribbon. Lovely. And I'm going to just cut that in half. And I'll measure that and kind of let you know about how big that is. That is, I know it's more than 12. We've got 12, almost 24 inches there. We got 12 and 12, which is plenty. Okay. And then what I do is I take my Tim Holtz ruler with my wonderful centering tool. Put that on here and get it in the center. Thanks to my friend Trina, who showed me how to do this. I never thought I would use math when I got older. But with making books, guess what? I'm using lots of math. So let's see, about right there. And what I do is I just put me a little pencil mark. And I get a piece of score tape. Whew, I'm glad I caught myself on that. I would have been so upset. I wouldn't have had my ribbon under there for my closure. So peel that off. Put one piece of our ribbon. And I usually go in just a little ways to kind of make sure it's in there good. So that's another reason I like to use longer pieces of ribbon. I know my desk looks a mess, but that's how I work. Got a piece there and a piece there. Give those a burnish. Pull them up. All right, now we're ready to put the pink piece of paper on the top. Okay, now, and it's kind of dried out some, so let's get some more glue added to this. Not too much, just a little bit. All right, now, that was scary. All right, just kind of eyeball that and center it and look at all the edges and just, I'm not a stickler for it being exact. You might be. If you are, you might want to get a ruler. But me, you know, it's my junk journal. It's for me. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to love it the way it is. So, that a good stick down. There we go. Okay. That looks good. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to the back. And we're going to start with our ribbon. And I just kind of eyeball on this one. I don't necessarily use the ruler, just to get it about in the same spot. Come on, tape. All right, where do I put the other piece of ribbon? Oh, on the floor. Excuse me a second. All right. And if you want them to be exact, you can kind of measure them. If not, sometimes I will cut them after I've done everything to even lift the ribbon. And like I said, I like to put 2 pieces of this here to make sure it is stuck down good. Let me peel that off. And you'll see I just gave that a little burnish with my fingers and it worked. All right, so now we've got our other cover here. Get the tape off of it, put some glue on it. You don't have to do a ribbon closure. You don't necessarily have to have a closure. I just like being able to close it. And then I love the way it looks when it's all tied up with the bow. It just looks nice, and I like that. Ooh, I gotta get some of this trash out of my way. That's driving me crazy. Get out of there, trash. All right. Put it on this one. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. Eyeball it. If you have some tape hanging over, you need to kind of push that in a little bit. Sometimes it does that. Okay, top to bottom. I'm more worried side to side, just so it kind of looks straight. There we go. Okay, looking good. Other than the inside, still not cooperating. I'm gonna probably have to let this, put some clips on it and let it dry. It doesn't want to look good, but it's okay for now. For what we're doing, we're good. All right, so I picked out some of the digitals from my porch prints, and I will have this link below. It's also linked in the other videos. I'll also link the first 2 videos in case you missed those. And this is the one that no, not that one. Let me find it. Oh, it's over here. This is the one that I think I want for my front cover. And what I want to get is I want to get these books and this ink quill and the letter and the glasses. And you can kind of see that it's a kind of a little darker pink than this, but I think that it just really looks nice together. And you got a little bit of pink there and a little pink there. I thought about this color, but it seemed a little overpowering, so I liked it. White could have worked too. So this is going to be for the front. And so one of the things that I found with this, because it is a digital, when this printed, this is only 8. Okay, so that's all I'm going to get. And then this was 8 3/4. So I'm going to have a little bit more of a pink border around than I usually do, but that's okay. I like that. And then this part here, remember, was 5 3/4. And so since I'm doing 8 this way, I think I'm going to do this to, I don't know, 5. 5 gets everything pretty good. I I might do 5.5, see what that looks like, and then I can always trim it if I want to. So let's go ahead and cut that. Move our book out of the way. So usually what I do is I always just go ahead and trim all this off. And I will ink this as well. And I'm also probably going to cut some kind of title for my Cricut, like 2023 reading journal, something along those lines, to put on the front. Okay. So I said we're going to leave the 8 because we need all of that. And then this was the side I wanted over here. And I see I need to get a little bit more off of this side. Just a hair off there. Okay. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to 5.5. I like 5.5. It gets part of the clock, it gets the glasses, it gets this book, which I like. So we're going to go 5.5, like so. Okay? And don't throw this away because I can use this for something else. All right. Put our book back in. And so this is going to go on top like this. And I don't know about you, but I like it. I like it. Okay, let's give a little bit of ink to this because it does have that white edge. I don't like white edge, so let's kind of ink it. It's going to be kind of hard to cover it up with the title. To cut the title little and maybe just put it down here in the corner somewhere because I really do like this, the way this looks. And inking it with a vintage photo really looks good. Okay. And for this one, I'm just going to glue it because this one is the main one on the book. It needed the extra tape, but I think this one just needs some glue. Nice around the edges and a little bit in the middle. I'm going to have to turn it this way so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And you will notice I have more pink from top to bottom than side to side, but I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's my book, and you do whatever makes you happy. And this makes me happy. Okay, there's that one. All right, let's look at the back. I picked out a couple things. You can see you could use a part of this if you wanted to, and then a strip of something else. So, that's a possibility. But what I really like is you see these books with the tea. I'm a big coffee drinker, but I do drink tea too. I think this would be fun just to fussy cut this out and pop it up. This one you could fussy cut out. This one you could fussy cut out. Those would make really nice embellishments inside your book. So I think I'm going to hang on to that one. So the other one that I thought about that I like for the back is just all these words. I like it. I like it. Now on this one, I could, because this is longer and the words, you see the words are going different ways, so I can focus on the words going that way, but then these are going sideways, or I can do it this way, or I can do it this way. I think I'm kind of leaning toward this way. Then you get most of the words going in the right direction. And because I cut the front one 8 by 5, I want them to be equal, and so I'm going to cut this one the same 8 by 5. So my 8 is going to be up and down. So let's trim off. Let's move our book out of the way. Let's trim off our white. You probably hear a motorcycle. I live kind of close to a highway, and sometimes we have some loud traffic that comes by. So if you hear that, I apologize. Okay, so I said I wanted this part. So that's going to be my, I want to get these words. So that's going to be my 5.5, because that's my width, right? Okay, it's my 5.5. No, I did it wrong. Leave it to me to mess it up. I thought I did 5. Oh, it was supposed to be 5. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's okay. No worries. 5. Save those strips. There's my 5. Now we got it. And that's wrong again, because that's not what I did, is it? You see, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. I did do it 5.5. So that means I've messed this piece of paper up. But that's okay. I'm going to piece it together, because you know what? There's no mistakes, just reasons that you can fix it. And I can, look, I can put these two pieces together and then I can fix it. That's what I'm gonna do. So this is a good opportunity for you to see what happens when you mess up. So let's see. I hope y'all see me in frame. I'm a little worried about that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a piece of score tape. Give me your tape. That's what happens sometimes when you run in your mouth and you mess up. Okay, if I do it right, this piece should go right here, and that's exactly where it goes. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it goes on that side. No, it goes right here. So if I put my score tape part of the way on this one and let it hang over the edge a little bit, like so. Okay. Good. All right. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to line it up. And nobody's probably even going to notice it except for me, because I know that I boo-booed. There. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, let's try this again. 5.5, which I think is what I had done to begin with. Okay, this is 5 3/4. Okay, I want 5.5 because what I ended up doing was 5, and that was not enough. So I need 5.5. There. Now we've got 5.5. And now we're going to cut it to 8. So here to 8. And that should work. Perfect. Okay. I think that's what I did on this side. Yeah. That's what I did. Right. So let's give that an inking. I just love the way ink changes the looks of stuff. And we can actually use this piece of score tape that was there to help stick it down, and then we'll put some glue. Okay. And side to side, top to bottom. Make sure that's all right. A little crooked. Let's lift it a little bit, move it over just a hair. Okay. Put her down. All right, so we've got the front cover decorated and the back, and we've got our closure. All right, now we want to work on the spine piece. So we want to take our piece here that we've already cut. And then I've got to decide what I want to put on top of that one. I'm not sure yet. My tape off. So I've almost finished reading one book. Actually, I'm on my second book for January. It's called Vengeful. It's the second book in V.E. Schwab's series. The first book was Vicious, and it is for my book club, which meets on Tuesday. So I'll probably finish that one up today. And so far, I'm really liking it. It is a fantasy. And if you like fantasies, you should definitely check them out. Okay, got a little bit of something going on there, but it's all right. Okay, so now we did have this, which would look pretty good on the spine. Kind of carry that around like that. We would get those books. Yeah, what do you think? I'm debating. I do like it. I think I'm going to do it. Okay. So this was 2.5, I think. Yeah, so let's make this 2 1/4 for the width, and let's see if that gives us enough to get that books with the T. 2 1/4 is right there. Okay, that's not bad. It cuts off a little bit of the books, but it will work. Okay, and we're going to leave the height as it is, which was 8. And I do see a little bit of white down here that I don't like. Trim that off. So see, you can change your mind. At first I thought I wanted to cut those out and use them. And the cool thing about digital is, guess what? I can print this sheet again and I can do what I wanted to do. I can cut them out and use them. So it's all good. All right, let's get some glue on this, on our spine, and we will have the outside of our book decorated. And I'm probably going to call this video done. We've been going about 25 minutes. And y'all know I don't like to go too long. Okay, I want to kind of get that to where it's even with those. Okay, here we go. Set that down. I think I'm going to have to work a little bit on my inside. I'm not happy with what it's doing, but I will get that fixed. And I'll let you know how that goes. So, here we go. I did have one question about signatures. What is a signature? So, basically, a signature is where you take your sheets of paper that you're going to use and you fold them in half, and that makes a page. And then you put those pages inside each other. You stack them together like so. And then ever how many you put, like I'm going up through June in this. Remember, I'm going to do 2 of these, 2 signatures. One's going to be January to June and then July to December. And so this group of papers all stacked together is what you call a signature. So this was part 3, and the next video will be part 4, and we'll look at decorating inside of the book and fix the issue that we had with that, and then we'll start working on some of the signatures and decorating those. So I hope everybody's gonna have a great weekend. And don't forget to like my video, and please subscribe to my channel. And if you have friends that are crafty book nerds like me, Terry, please let them know about my channel. I appreciate it. And ta-ta for now.